happy Samhain, all my shaman, all my witchy poo friends, all my psychics, all my healers. It is the day. It's the day that the veil is the thinnest, and oh my gosh, it's a blue moon. There's just crazy energy going on today, and I'm so happy to be sharing it with you. So let's talk about the card and the animal that showed up for you guys today, because I was thinking Spirit was going to play with us a little bit, like the animal allies would send a wolf, a bat, a snake, Oh no, the animal allies did not play, which is kind of interesting because there was a whole conversation going on yesterday in my office about playing, and I'll get to that in just a second. So really, I guess it doesn't surprise me, but are you ready for this? Yes, this is the Ark. This is my deck. This is the deck that I read from. And guess who showed up today? Whammo abammo. Yes, the shaman's animal, the Jaguar. Shout out to all the Jaguar shaman out there over in your country that do your thing, do your healing, do your whatever every day. And the Jaguar is the Queen of Swords in my deck for many, many reasons, which we'll get to in a second. But y'all, if you're taking Samhain or Halloween seriously and you are going to do some energetic work around today, let me tell you something. A more powerful animal, I don't think you could have show up for y'all today. So let's just talk for 2 seconds about this blue moon today, which is in Taurus. Bullheaded, lordy, bullheaded people. But the biggest thing that you've got to know is this is an amazing, amazing Halloween for doing any kind of releasing or healing that you want. And when you start taking a look at Jaguar as the medicine and the energy for your spirit totem and power animal today, first of all, the spots on a Jaguar are thought by the shaman to be kind of the journey of the sun and the moon across the skies. And it's the journey from the divine consciousness to your consciousness. And there's just so much that goes along with it, which is when they talk about doing Jaguar shaman, healing, they always start with the sacral chakra, which its color is orange, and it's your passion, and it's your vitality, and it's your, it's just kind of everything that animates you. I mean, you can be alive but not be animated, but this is like what fills you with all those beautiful passions. And so when you do your healing and you're releasing today, it's super important that you then also refill yourself with that power of your sacral chakra. Picture that beautiful orange glow coming in. Understand that's where Jaguar energy lives inside of you, that part of your spirit, that part of your soul that is the Jaguar. Now, in those indigenous cultures, they call the Jaguar, it's Jaguar Father, and he's the ruler of all of the skies and all of the universe. And, well, really to the Mayans, but he's got sacred authority over all the plants and all the creatures. And if you decide today to call that in, if you're doing any kind of like full moon ritual or Samhain ritual or Halloween ritual or spirit animal ritual, any kind of thing like that, I would encourage you to not only be prepared for, but to accept that kind of powerful energy coming in. Now, it can seem sometimes, because I've always got a joke, and I'm, my natural way is to be bouncy and positive and that kind of thing. And I get that may not make me look quite as serious on a spiritual level sometimes as I really truly am. But I think that's because I just kind of take things in stride. I've learned over the years to take things in stride just a little bit, but when it's time to get with it, it's time to get with it, and I don't play. And there again, there comes that phrase again. I'll get to that story in just a minute. So just very quickly, I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to talk very quickly about the traditional meaning of the Queen of Swords, but specifically how it relates to you guys today. Because just because the energies of today, the planetary energies, out in the cosmos, on the planet, We're ramping up to the day that shall not be mentioned. People are losing their poo. And it's, you've got all these swirling energies of a second moon. It's a blue moon. And now we've got Jaguar for today, and we've got the Queen of Swords. So let's talk about what she means. Y'all, the Queen of Swords is a survivor. In her, I mean, in her lifetime, I can't even fathom what she's been through. And she just keeps going, and she keeps going, and she keeps going. And swords are, some people think of them as air, people think of them as fire, in terms of their element, but they definitely are two-sided, right? There's always two edges to every sword. So it's not that the Queen of Swords is without compassion. It's not that she loses her sensibilities and she flies off on a very emotional, immature kind of tangent. It's that she really can switch from an earthly position of, sorry, but I've got to fell my sword swift and true, and a more divine, higher consciousness kind of position where she can just walk past the nonsense and the crazy immature rhetoric that goes on out there in the world. She's no fool. Just because she walks past something or doesn't engage in the minutia doesn't mean that she doesn't see it, or she's not a good leader, um, or she's a weak leader. She's a true leader. She's going to pick and choose her battles. If you notice, her head is crowned with butterflies, and that's the symbol of transformation, which harkens back to the Jaguar, which is that transformation across the skies from light to dark, from divine to mortal. When she's extending her hand, if you take a look in the traditional Rider-Waite card, that extension of her hand is is letting you know she hasn't turned her back on you or anything else, but she knows her worth. And so anybody who tries to reach out and bite that hand or take that hand and yank her off that throne, that's not going to go so well for him, because, or her, um, that's because her intentions are pure. Can you say the same? I I will tell you that after having read for easily 60,000 people at this point over all the years I've been doing this, as well-intentioned as people are, very rarely, when things happen, when business relationships go south or personal relationships go south, very rarely do people sit back and reflect on what their component was, or their responsibility in this was, or how their thoughts and actions and deeds and whatever might have played out into the drama. People are always looking to point a finger. Always, always, always. It's very difficult for people to say, I was wrong, I was sorry. Today is a great day to do that. Today is a tremendous day to be very honest with yourself, and even honest about other people. I just recently had a thing, I've mentioned it lightly in a few of the videos over the last few weeks, that someone that I truly, honest to goodness, I would have taken a bullet for. Wow, they got one over on me. I mean, they didn't really, but I think I mentioned to you guys, I just kept turning my head and turning my head because I didn't want it to be true. Sure enough, it's true. And um, and so I had to be the Queen of Swords. I had to not play. And that was less pleasant for me. And certainly I immediately started looking for my own, like, how did I contribute to this? What about my energetic vibration drew this to me, especially after all these years of a relationship? But I discovered something new, about myself, and that I've really kind of come to a place where I don't really consider the other person's culpability, or what, signs that they gave, or I instantly turn inward, right? Because that's what we're taught as we kind of evolve and we go through the spiritual awakening, and we, especially as we start to work with animals and whatnot, nothing, but nothing will teach you to get more real than when you really, truly start working with the animal allies, spirit totem, and power animal, and not just looking up your zodiac, or not just seeing what this one animal means in one little, I've got the most comprehensive site and book on the market and on the internet about spirit totem and power animals, the most comprehensive by hundreds of animals, by thousands and tens of thousands of words and research and that kind of thing. And even that is not enough. It's still a soundbite in the world of a spiritual journey, especially if you're journeying to become a shaman, like what you consider a true shaman, a real psychic, a real medium, a real healer. It's just a soundbite. But where I'm going with all of this is, especially in the full moon tonight, you might want to spend, anything that's important to you, any person or any situation that's got your spirit disturbed um, and rattled. Be the Queen of Swords. Be the Jaguar hunter. Don't allow that to have power over you, which means you're going to have to face it and release it. Now, what I'm not saying is sit around and chew on things and put yourself in a bad mood and all that kind of thing. But at this point, if you're a person whose spirit is easily rocked, you're not being a wild one. You are allowing other people and situations to have power over you. And that's why I'm completely not surprised that Jaguar has shown up for us today, because that animal is very well known for killing its prey with one swipe of its paw, with one bite. It's pretty legendary in the indigenous cultures. And they actually, if I'm not mistaken, Jaguar means kills with one blow, or something very, very much like that in Central and South America. They're also lone hunters. They don't hunt in packs. They don't hunt in, you know, groups or whatever. They're very solitary hunters. And that, even if you're getting together this evening, take, with your whatever you call your group of people, make sure that you take a little bit of time for yourself. And if you can, um, if you want to call in that kind of power, then you're going to want to channel the archetype of the Queen of Swords and reach inside of yourself and unite with that part of you that is the Jaguar. And what I mean by that is, so that seems like an easy thing to understand. Okay. But y'all, life is tough. I mean, I honor every single one of you that signed a sacred contract to be born in this material world, because nobody's life is like super easy. People can lead easier lives than others for whatever those reasons are. But at the end of the day, it's always something, ain't it? There's just always something going on. And it I don't know that you guys honor yourself enough, or even think about honoring your own spirit and soul enough, that you had the strength to incarnate into this world. So when you're considering this evening, in the light of the full moon, the blue moon, the second moon, it's on Samhain. The veil is so very thin right now. Shaman, this is a prime time for them to go into their altered states of consciousness, even without the plant medicine. The environment is just ripe to do whatever you want. But when you're talking about bringing in that kind of power, I would really encourage you to be very sure that you're ready to assimilate that kind of power. And that manifests in everybody very differently. It looks very different on people. People tell me all the time I'm intimidating, even though at the beginning of this video I was like, I know I can seem like a little dopey sometimes and whatever. But the double-edged sword side of that is, I've been told my whole life how intimidating I am. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Me, Bernadette? Are you joking me? But over the years, I have come to realize that there is a sense of individuality and a sense of independence and a sense of self that I've always had, that's just gotten stronger as I've gotten older, which is something, that fierce individualism, that is something the Queen of Swords can give you. That fierce individualism, that wild spirit, that you're going to live your life the way you want to live your life. Nobody else gets to tell you how to live your life. And you have the power to create anything that you want to create. That's what you're calling in tonight. Release the petty crap. call in that power. And you know what? I hope you write me one day and say, oh my gosh, Bernadette, somebody told me I was intimidating today. I'm going to be like, yes, because I had a lot of people ask me if I was going to dress up for this video, and I did dress up. Can you guess what I am? No? Y'all, I'm the great pumpkin rising out of the pumpkin patch. Come on now. Orange pumpkin patch, the great pumpkin rising. I know, you didn't get it. It was funny to me at the time, but it's not really all that funny right this very moment, but it kind of is. Because I can hear the Charlie Brown song playing, playing in my head as I'm talking about being so powerful. But seriously, for today's video, I know it's been a little bit longer, but there's just so much to be considered on a day like today. One of those other things is endurance. I've got, Jaguars, really most big cats, or really all big cats, they'll travel hundreds of miles just to eat. Goodness knows I would too. I love my food, and I would go to the ends of the earth to get the last morsel that was left on this planet. But um, there are journeys, y'all, and then there are journeys. And I have a good buddy on Facebook right now. I've never met her in person, and you know how that is. You get to know people over time, over years, and we're as buddies as we can be for this person living in another country and I live here and so on and so forth. Y'all, night before last, her house burnt down, took everything with it. And her children and her husband escaped within minutes of their life. They don't even know what caused the fire yet. These are the kinds of things that people endure. I know y'all out there, most people are never called to healing work unless they have suffered some kind of trauma or multiple traumas. That whole wounded healer thing, that's a real thing, y'all. So tonight is just the night. Today is just the day. Whatever power you feel like you're missing in your life, whatever independence, whatever just that thing in your sacral chakra that burns, that deep fiery orange, it's all yours for the taking. But really, it's all yours for the remembering, because you've always been that person. You've always had that kind of power. Your job at the moment is just to ignite it again, unite with it again, get it up again. And I try to keep these videos very G-rated, even some of them are PG-rated. But I've had a lot of people write in over this last year about sexual trauma. I don't know what it is about this past year, but it's bringing that up. And they've asked me, how can I use my animal allies for this, for that? I mean, listen, people that are really serious about their shamanic work, their healing work, working with the animal allies, they're using it to heal all areas of their life, not just the surface things. And I mean, my gosh, when you think about what traditional shaman teachings are about the 4 levels and the, all that kind of thing, and there's some version of that in just about every culture. It is time to look in those shadows. You may be being asked to do some shadow work today, or to release those deepest, darkest shadows that you've been hiding from yourself, hiding from other people. And I would really encourage you, when you talk about an animal that's as vibrantly colored as a jaguar, especially an orange, with the spots and everything, in the sun, they look like the sun. They're just breathtaking animals. And again, I talk about the power and the this and the that, and it sounds like I'm being, like a shield maiden or a warrior goddess or something. But there is power, you guys, in complete silence. There is power in being strong enough that when other people or situations are just coming at you, coming at you, okay, keep coming. Give it your best shot. And there you sit. It might kerfuffle your hair a little bit. My hair, sorry, I can't get this one side to lay down. It's making me nuts. But there's power in that as well. So you may tonight want to release something that you've been holding on to in silence for so long. And it might be some kind of abuse of some kind. It might be a lie you told. It might be something that you stole from somebody. It might be a bad deed that you did. It might be a bad deed that was done to you. And that's what I'm talking about the shadow work and this being a particularly powerful evening for releasing, and why this is coming full circle back to the very beginning of this video about being honest with yourself, and how people are really loath, people want to put revisionist history on just about everything. And people are very loath to take a look at their responsibility in something. Um, and so, what does any of that matter? Well, I don't know. It's going to only matter to you and what you want to accomplish. So really, before you even begin anything tonight, I would say write down what your intentions are. Set your intentions very, very clearly. Like, there are 9 million people on the internet talking about fire ceremonies and full moon rituals and this and that. I don't know that I have so very much to add to like the physical manifestation of that. I myself am, my Lord, y'all, was 57 here this morning in Florida. I about took all my clothes off and ran naked through my backyard because for once it wasn't like living in the Everglades. And I got gills growing, y'all. Can you see them? I got gills growing. It's like breathing in the sun. It's unbelievable. But it wasn't this morning. So I'm gonna light up a little fire pit, and through my day today, I'm just going to be writing things down that I want to release, and I'm going to put them in the fire, and I'm going to release them to the Jaguar gods, and I'm going to release it all, and I'm going to make sure that my Queen of Swords is, that her sword is not broken, that it is very intact, and that I remain willing to hear both sides of a situation, even if I'm the one that's got to eat a lot of crow. I would love to say that as a teacher, as a shamanic teacher, as a teacher of all things metaphysical, in particular the spirit totem power animals, I would love to say that I make all the right decisions to say all the right things in a moment. But there's no such thing. You can say what you think is right. You can say it with all your heart. You can do it with all your heart, and your intentions could be pure as the driven snow. And that person may not interpret it that way. Nothing you can do about that. So the power that I'm talking about, and it might seem like I keep harping, but it takes power, it takes stamina, it takes strength to get through these days in our lives. And it's not every day is all like that, but on the days that, hey, your house burns to the ground, on the day that you find out, somebody close to you or yourself is very ill on death's door. I mean, listen, not to bring the reading down or anything, but those things happen. And the other thing that can happen is you can be living just this great on track successful life or whatever, and somebody that's very important to you, man, you're watching them circle the drain. What can you do to help them? I don't know about that. Maybe you can, invite them, even if they're in another state, Skype them in, let them be part of your, Zoom them in, FaceTime them in, let them be part of your ritual. Let them be part of that energetic coming together and the releasing and then the calling and the healing. Maybe send them a little bit of extra power. It's just like shopping at Walmart. You just go pick it up and send it out to them. It's the same thing. You just order it up from the universe. The universe doesn't have same day delivery. They have that minute delivery. Just remember that. And you don't have to pay extra. You're already a member. You don't have to pay $65 a year. You're already a member. Okay. So if you're going to call in Jaguar as your spirit animal tonight, it's time to be brave. It's time to look into the shadows, yours and other people, and release the things that that no longer serve you, that you don't want to tote around anymore. That are weighing you down, that are keeping you from being wild and free and living the life you want to live on your terms, right? If Jaguar, if you've adopted it as your totem animal, you are 75 kinds of fierce, and good for you, and you're probably getting fiercer every day. Again, that doesn't mean you have to, one of these people. It just means that you carry a strength inside of you that put other people on notice, smart people on notice, the second they pass you in a store or they talk to you or whatever. You just know the people that are made of that solid, stern stuff. If you're going to invoke Jaguar as your power animal tonight, I wish I could be there to see it. I wish I could be there to witness it. I am going to hold sacred space for all y'all tonight. I set up this big old container of sacred energy and space around everything around me, my little old house here in Florida, and my backyard, and my woods behind me, and whatever. Just because there's going to be such powerful, truly authentic and meaningful things go on today and tonight. And I just love you guys, and I want the best for you, and I want you to be able to connect with those things that are going to be able to support you and guide you in creating whatever you want and don't want in your life. And so just know that a little piece of me, the great pumpkin, will be with you this evening. And I'll probably be smiling some stupid, dopey smile. And I'm cheering you on. I believe in you. The animal allies believe in you. And I just know by the tomorrow morning, oh, you're going to feel cleansed and refreshed and renewed and ready to go out and pick up your sword and hiss at somebody in your own way and just do your thing in the strongest possible way. So, happy Halloween, happy Samhain. Y'all, tonight of all nights, you gotta what? You gotta stay wild.